to record it and start my video. So I wanted to do this for my newsletter because I haven't had a chance to send one out since the UN Envoy, Daniel Foote, resigned. So this is for my Patreons and some of my people on the newsletter. I'm just going to check to make sure this is already live on Facebook, which it should be. I'm going to have just a few announcements. I'm going to check to see if this thing is live. Okay, it looks like it's live. So within just a week, the United States managed to move, some people say 12,000, some people 17,000, mostly Haitian refugees, but there were refugees from Colombia, Venezuela, and other South American countries, away from the eyesore. So you see what their capabilities are, but they can't shut the border for drugs. They can't shut the border for others that come into the United States, and mostly understand that most of the immigrants are coming from white nations, not Eastern Europeans. You don't see them in the way that you see what you saw at the Del Rio border. So, so the primary, I have maybe 10 minutes before my next interview. I want to tell my newsletter people to follow my Instagram post, because I am working really hard to juggle a lot of stuff. And on Instagram, I have put the voices of the Haitian refugees. I want to make so, and that's the most important things here, right? Because many have traveled for 10 years because of the failed earthquake relief of Barack Obama, Biden as vice president, and the Clintons. As you know, the media is not going to mention any of this, so we have to. And so in July, the last puppet president was assassinated by his own people, and with the complicity, or probably, I've covered that, and you guys can see it everywhere on my website, my newsletter, the Free Haiti, Instagram, and so on, right? There's a lot of reasons why he is assassinated. But who rules Haiti? Haiti is being ruled by a syndicate of organized ambassadors. It's really important to understand that, because the media is not going to tell you. It's a syndicate of one fist. During the Haitian Revolution, they all came on the armada of Leclerc, of Napoleon. Today, they are the United States. And the United States, there's two white women. And remember, I keep saying it, most people don't understand. They're not the genteel half of the race, right? They're the ones that create these monsters. They give birth to the white supremacists. They gain money from his criminal plundering in their estate for the next generation. So the two right now are Hélène Lalume, who's a career US ambassador. She is the US ambassador at the UN. We curse her name and all her descendants and anyone who supports her death squads in Haiti. And the lead one is the US ambassador to Haiti. She's been around since 1986, and she knows how to do dictatorships and then project it as democracy. Her name is Michelle Sisson. But I'm here today because for the first time in history, our history, there is a US ambassador who broke rank from the core group terrorist. And I wanted to acknowledge that. And I wanted to have you all remember to read his letter and the most important part of his letter. His name is Daniel Foote. And if you go to my Instagram, the album, if you go to the Free Haiti movement on Facebook, people, and you look at the album of the assassination of Jovenel Moïse, go down, because we archive our history, because no one is telling our history as it goes on. So you will see it in pictures and archives. Just go down, you'll see all the Del Rio refugees. And remember, legally, why they call them migrants. You see, the white man can write all kinds of highfalutin justice type words, but at the end of the day, he doesn't live them. He will always find a way. She will always find a way to not have us, or not have the law apply to us. So the law says, international law, of which the United States is a party, says that if a refugee, a human being, is fleeing persecution and the threat of death, then they have the right to a hearing about that and not to be sent back to die. But a migrant is someone who chooses to leave their place, like a choice, like a tourist. So that's why the checkbook media, who gets paid to do this colonial narrative, writes, knowing very well that these are refugees from the earthquake, refugees from UN cholera that killed 30,000 people, that poisoned Haiti's waters, and that made over a million, I think a million sick. So the threat of death. And then of course, you know, they have their gangs. They call them gangs. That's the new word for the Michel Sisson and Ellen Lalume paramilitary forces. And so the Mahafa, which started in Haiti, continues today. And for the first time, the world hopefully sees these pictures. Do they care? How long have we been saying this, Haitians? I had a conversation recently with a very well-established Black American. And she told me, change my name to a colonial name and not Esli Dantor, and don't sign Free Haiti Movement in order to appeal to the conscience of these predators. That's the type of people we have in this world that call themselves Black leaders, Black progressives. So the letter that he wrote, the most important part is not what the media keeps talking about. So Daniel Foote, I'm going to go to my, hi people, Sunny Law, no F-book message icon sharing. I don't know how to change that. Sunny, if you know, let me know. Okay, thank you. I have no idea how to change that. Should I, to make it public? Let me see. I don't know. So just copy the link, Sonny, okay? Yeah, they want us to bow, Alfred. They want us to bow, but we're not going to. There's an amazing video. Oh my God. Those people at the borders, songs will be written about them. Haitians will forever lift them up till the end of time. They are combatants. They are warriors. They are heroes. They have traveled since 2010, when Barack Obama, contrary to all the checkbook media tells you, when Barack Hussein Obama forbid Haitian earthquake victims from seeking legal asylum in the United States, when there was the worst suspected natural disaster. We all know what it was, right? Because you all remember the Ottawa Initiative. In 2004, when we had a democratically elected president that the United States deported to Africa, remember, okay? They love to deport us. But they keep the integrated Negroes. They give them jobs. They've got Ariel Henry today, supposedly at the UN, representing Haitians. Who the hell voted for Ariel Henry? What law? He's there because Hélène Lalume, that wicked witch of the West, by tweet, assigned him as acting prime minister after Jovenel Moïse. So two things. In my, if you guys please go to my Instagram and read some of the stuff, right? Because this is what, very quickly, because I'm going to come back here in about, I think at 8:30. I have an interview, but I just wanted to read the most important parts of the most important parts of, I mean, this is just most extraordinary letter of Daniel Foote, Biden's remember who was UN envoy after the earthquake, you guys? It was that Clinton's, right? Bill Clinton. All right. Remember what Bill Clinton did to us? They brought us PHTKK, pedophilia, homosexuality, UN cholera, stole, misused 13 billion in earthquake funds, and then gave us 3 or 4 fake elections, murdered Haitians, brought so many different mercenaries to kill the protesting Haitians. Well, we didn't expect anything from the ambassadors, right? Because they've been all over the world doing what they're doing to Haiti, to Black and brown nations. But the purge is here. The useless Haitian politicians did not get rid of Jovenel Moïse. His own people got rid of him, right? And now, for the first time in history, and I'm talking about 217 years of history, there has never been an American ambassador who has told the truth. And here is what he said. Even though they're blasting around that, you know, he resigned because of the inhuman treatment of the Del Rio refugees under that bridge, and that is part of the reason. Okay, but I want all of you to read it. He says, what our Haitian friends, he resigned because he would not participate in the colonization of Haiti. Let's use those words, people. Haiti's not cursed. Haiti's not collapsed. Haitian people have always been abandoned. The United States always picked these men and give them titles. Some of them they've been educating for years to put them in positions like Mateli, I remember in 1994 when I first went back, when I was representing President Aristide. I tell this story all the time, folks. And the US had brought in under Clinton 20,000 troops. Remember, the first refugees they ever put in Guantanamo were us. And I can't tell you in the decades and decades and decades of work I've done, how many pieces I've written about our horrible, horrible journey. And this journey of these Haitians, they have traveled from 2010 to now 2021. And I've been writing about it. And so many, well, not many other Haitians, right? They only listen to the integrated Negroes. But you can go to my website and you will see 7,000 miles to freedom. I wrote that back in 2017. You can go and 1997. You remember I wrote capsized. I'm on the overloaded ship and it's just capsized. Well, we used to, they put us in Guantanamo Bay where today, you know, they put Al-Qaeda. I have Little Girl in the Yellow Dress. You guys have read them. These are the pieces that I've performed all over the world. So it's like so much and so constant and so eternal, this journey of trying to find asylum justice. And it's always being denied. We're always being discriminated. They'll give others people. Barack Obama in 2004, after the apocalyptic, suspicious 2010 earthquake, 2010 earthquake, essentially announced through his puppets. I remember Wyclef Jean's uncle at that time was US ambassador, Haiti's ambassador. And they gave him the task of having a megaphone while the Haitians were crushed, of saying, you know, don't leave Haiti. You won't get asylum in Haiti. I know you all know, because you've been following me, that Barack Obama was the deporter in chief. Don't let them fool you with this Trump white progressive hype. A deporter in chief in the United States was Barack Obama. And when Biden, who kneeled at Little Haiti in 2010 to pander for the Haitian vote, when he got into office in January of 2020, by February, he had deported, I don't know, something like, there were like 18 flights that went. So he continued that more than Trump ever did. So remember that, okay? Don't let them tell you about these demon rats. I've lived through 2 coups d'etats, and I started working out with the white progressives. And let me tell you, those wolves, they will take the narrative and never tell you about colonization and what the UN is. We have fought for this voice. Those Haitians that are talking, they have fought for that voice, and they fought the white progressives, ridiculous narrative. They have fought the neocons, the imperialists, all of them. And today you can see their voices on Instagram. You can see the Haitians. Oh my God, I'm so proud of so many Haitians who went to the border to help these 17,000 people. It was amazing the last couple of weeks, and I haven't had the chance to really do a newsletter. So this will be it, right? So this is what Daniel Foote says after he says that the US diplomats who are saying nothing about this summary deportation of these refugees. They live in Haiti behind compounds, safe with their swimming pool and their Haitian gardeners and their Haitian maids and butlers, you see? And the Haitian Middle Eastern oligarchs, they don't need to come out into the streets where the NGOs have left us with a bunch of garbage from their plastic life that Haiti cannot at all absorb. They have pads in their, they have helipads, helicopter pads. So they go from the airport to their helicopter pads. We are the ones, those Haitians who are being flown back are the ones that's going to have to deal with their gangs that they arm. We don't own any gun manufacturers. We're not Accra. We're not Mateli. We're not Bijou. We're not Israel. We don't manufacture the guns that these guys are being given to create the hell so that these white folks can, what did they say they wanted to do? They said they wanted to depopulate Haiti. They said in 2004 in the Ottawa Initiative that by 2019 there were going to be 20 million Haitians, and that's a bomb that the Americas does not want. Too bad. There is a, we have survived. We have survived the jungles of Central America, from Brazil to Panama up. We have survived snakes, panthers, traffickers, rapists. We've survived 2 Bush family coup d'etat, putting us in Guantanamo. We have survived UN cholera, where they refused to contact trace the UN soldiers who brought in the cholera. We have survived assassinations, coup d'etats. Those heroes, we will write songs about them, and we want them to know that. We know what they're doing to them right now in those detention centers. You guys remember Father Jean-Just in Chrome Center in Miami back in the 80s? We know, we've been there. I've been there. I've been to the New York and Hartford detention centers since I was 8 years old. US destroys Haiti rule, puts in puppets, steals 13 billion in quake funds. The Clintons destroy our food sovereignty. They let subsidized Confederate state Arkansas farmers dump food to destroy Haiti's farmers. Secretary Clinton forces the Haitian parliament in 2010 and 11 to, after the earthquake, to reduce the minimum wage that they had put to $5 per day, not per hour, people. She made them reduce it back to $1.60, and it was tiered, where some actually got $3. So she did that. And when she was running for president, we said that to what was that guy in Vermont, but they didn't want to hear us. They said we were supporting Trump when we were trying to explain how my whole life, Haitians' whole life, we've had to deal with both Democratic and Republican administrations that have treated Haitian refugees like they were animals, both of them. And when I say that the West is one evil and two faces, the integrated Negroes, token Negroes, eating biscuits from the Democrats trickle down, or the Republicans trickle down. And the progressives, Paul Farmer, Brian Gunconen, these are the Haitian voices, right? According to them. Secretary Hillary Clinton forces Haitian parliament to reduce Haiti's wage, right? They keep bringing us back to 160, something that Aristide brought back in 1991. Today, I think the minimum wage is tiered again. I think it's $4 for sweatshop workers, and then the lowest, I mean, they've got this classism going down like crazy. So if you're the minimum wage is not one minimum wage, right? Because France is class, monarchy crap. is in the Haitian education system and the Jesuit education system. So the domestic workers are giving the lowest, you know, I think they're at, I don't know, 250 a day, 250 a day in a Western hemisphere where Digicel is charging an arm and a leg, and where under Obama and Clinton, Digicel charges us, the diaspora, $1.50 for every oh my gosh, remittance that we send. So anyways, this is what the Haitians are fleeing, for those who don't know, for what the media won't tell you. And the UN and the core group, I'm going to say it again. Who are the core group? They're led by the two wicked witches of the West, Hélène Lalume, Michel Sisson, United States and the UN. And then you've got Germany, Spain, France, Canada. And then you have all of the white nations at the European Union. And then all of the mulatto Haitian nations at the Organization of American States. That's who they are. They take one fist. They call themselves the core group. They used to call themselves the Friends of Haiti. They are the ones ruling Haiti. They are the ones that have made Haiti this hell. That's why those people had to leave in order to breathe, to survive, because then the foot of Hélène Lalume, the United States, and Michel Sisson was under neck and they could not breathe. So they traveled first legally. Those people traveled legally out of Haiti, most of them. They traveled from Haiti, and the Chileans made so much money selling them passports. The Brazilians made so much money in Haiti selling them passports, the Panamanians, the Colombians, right? And they went to those places. In 2016, after they finished using them to build the Olympic Park for the Summer Olympics, they kicked them out. So there's a video of a Haitian woman, beautiful Haitian woman, talking about how she was in Chile for 4 years, but then they started cracking down. She has a baby, a daughter who's Chilean born. But she had to leave. And so she took this route that the Central Americans have been taking for years. But you know, those traffickers treated us, because racism is global. They treated us beyond belief, horrifically. About 5 years ago, I was interviewing some of those who made that trek, and they talked about the water taking their kids, so they lose their children, the women being raped by the traffickers and the guides through the forest, extorted so that they have to go sell their property in IT so that they can be released. Those are the people that finally got to that border. And you see that cowboy trying to play Indian with them. And these white folks wanting to talk to me and argue with me about the difference between a rein and a whip. It's a rope that you're using as a whip. After all that, crossing that water, getting sick, they end up under that bridge where they were not even given showers. At least the ones I talked to who were taken from the bridge and put in prison. He said before he was put on that plane on Saturday, I think the 19th, and returned back to Haiti. He had not had a shower for like 6 days. These are violation of refugee laws. You're supposed to have basic shelter, food, human rights. You're not supposed to be tortured. And the guys, you saw that barefoot man who had crossed the river to get food because there was nothing in the Texas side. And he had the food in his hand. And what, 1,000-pound horse comes with his hindquarters and his hoof stepping on that human being. Yes, this is the journey of the Haitians. And you guys are heroes. Haïtien, I'm going to do this in Creole. Haïtien, tout Haïtien qui l'en del Rio, la prison qu'on y a, ça y aurait les detention center. Nous connaissons qui sont subi. My parents were immigrants. So anyways, it is a trigger. So I'm going to try to keep it together, people. Anyways, so 10 years later, 7,000 miles through 11 nations looking to survive. They get lassoed and pushed by horses and put under a bridge without any provisions. Their papers were taken away from them. A lot of these Haitians that ended up in Haiti have no papers now, no identification. Why is that? Why is that? Who are they going to use it for? Anyways, it is what it is. The Mahafa continues, the Middle Passage continues. Meanwhile, you know, behind this colonial narrative, billions of our resources are being taken out through that Windward Passage. Our oil that they're fracking out that gives us this latest earthquake. We remember also the 2021 August 14th earthquake and those 8,000 people who are still without anything because there is no government for them. We've never had any. We are colonized by Michel Sisson and the core group. So this is what he wrote. Daniel Foote is a career U.S. ambassador. And I can't tell you in 40 years that I've ever seen this of Haiti work. Ever. The closest human being that was an ambassador to Haiti was Brian Dean Curran. You guys can look him up. He was the one that struggled with Lucifer, Satan. His name is Stanley Lucas, working for ERIE, John McCain's organization, International Republican Institute. And he was trying a little bit to stop the 2004 coup d'etat that led us to where we are now. But he didn't do it in the way that Daniel Foote just did it, right? Like I hate that guy, the economic hitman. See, because like when they retire, they can tell everything. They could be whistleblowers after they've spent their career killing and murdering and terrorizing poor people. You see, Brian Curran spoke after the 2004 coup d'etat had happened. So it wasn't really useful for us, right? He didn't put his job and comfort in jeopardy, but this guy did. And for that, I thank you, Daniel Foote. For that, we who are the most hated Black ethnicity in the Americas, we who are the inventors of liberty for all, and who are hated for that by all the mulattoes nations and all the white supremacist body people who rule that these governments that are killing us. We thank you. But the most important thing that he said, remember after the assassination of Jovenel Moïse, Ellen Lalune put in Ariel Henry. And what they're trying to do is have fake elections in in summer of 2022. But the people of Haiti have been working for a long, long time to have a Haitian solution and get rid of these core group people. We want them out of Haiti. They need to go in front of the International Criminal Court and answer for all the massacres that they have presided over in Haiti, from, I think, 18 massacres from La Saline and on. And forget about the UN. I mean, you guys can go on my Twitter account. I've kept it there, even when no one wanted to hear it, about what the UN did to us in 2004 with the minister mission and the babies they left behind and the raping of our children and men and women. That's what the Del Rio, Texas Haitians were fleeing. There's been no justice. And so Daniel Foote, thank you. He said, what our Haitian friends really want and need is the opportunity to chart their own course without international puppeteering and favored candidates, but with genuine support to that course. He said, I do not believe that Haiti can enjoy stability with her citizens until her citizens have the dignity of truly choosing their own leaders fairly and acceptably. He said last week, and this is very important, because the Esli Network have been trying behind the scene to get the Montana Accord, the people at the Montana Accord, to be the ones to represent us at the General Assembly. Hold on, people, one moment. Hi. Yes.
Greetings, sis. I was just checking to see if we're still on.
Yes, we're still on, and I can. Do you want me to come on now?
No, if you're still trying to fill something up, it's okay, because he didn't open up the screen jar yet anyway.
Okay, so I think I'm there, because I'm live now, but I'm there behind at your space. So you just let me know when you want me, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm supposed to go on, folks, to I think it's Black Thorough Radio. I'll post it, okay? But let me finish reading what I was doing. I mean, this guy really laid it out in such a frank way for a diplomat. You know how those people are always using euphemisms, okay? So there has always been Haitians, okay? Just like these Haitians you see, all right? We've always fought, right? It's just that nobody gives us the air, the media to show our faces, right? That's why I created the Esli Network, because God bless the child who has her own. So, all right. So we are Free Haiti supports the Montana Accord. We have some issues with it, and we're hoping to speak and influence it so that it represents the grassroots that we represent, right? Because Montana is not a place for Haiti or the majority of Black Haitians, right? And the Montana Accord does have some flaws about how it denies the diaspora, and we're going to fix that. And if we don't, and if that is not fixed, then we're gonna do something different. But for the moment, it is the best Haiti solution that exists. And it allows for a Haitian dialogue, because we really do need to speak to each other. We have suffered so much, and we've had no witness to that suffer. So we need to have ourselves as witness. So the Haitian people have been in the streets for more than 10 years, dying in those streets. Since 2004, that makes it almost, I don't even want to see how long. Okay. And all that pain, all that family member who are dead, you know, they've never had a chance to release. Michel Sisson and Ellen Lalume want us to go with the same thing that they had before. And we need release. We need a dialogue. We need Haitians to rule Haiti, because only we know our pain. Only we can figure out how to live. So I've talked to you guys, you know, so anyways, you guys can see the Montana Accord. I urge organizations in the diaspora to sign it. For the first time, I'm going to try. If these politicians don't betray the people, we at Free Haiti will put our name in to represent the diaspora under the accord. But the minute that we see that they are giving the diaspora unequal treatment for all that we give, you know, $3 billion a year. You know, I remember when I was in Haiti, you know, in 1994, before Aristide was brought back. Oh, he loved the diaspora. But as soon as he got back, there was a difference. You know, and of course, you all know, I know this, the difference between French-speaking diaspora and how they're treated in colonized Haiti, in English-speaking and how we're treated, and Creole-speaking and how we're treated. We won't have it anymore. We're one people, one race, one culture. That's what we did at Bois Caillemot. And yes, we've been doing September. September is our founding father's birthday. This in September 20th, 1757, his birth. So we remember his words. And when you see those Haitians, they may not even know, but they're living his legacy, because he says you got to put everything above freedom. If you want freedom, you can't fight for property. Not even children. And my God, how awful that is to watch your child be carried away by water and you lose her. I mean, you have to go on, and we have. So this is why this white man astounded and amazed me. And I praise his name and all his family members and friends and supporters. I thank you on behalf of all of us freedom fighters whose voice was never heard. But somebody will hear it because you wrote it, Daniel Foote, when they would not ever, ever hear Ezeli Dantor. And he said about the Montana Accord, we gotta find a more inclusive name for that. Magali Como, Magali George, Myrta Desume, and all the civil society folks who helped put this thing together. Let's please, please not disappoint the people by joining the PhD Kaka people, please. All right? Let's not, because that's going to be the United States' next move. Their next move is going to be to co-opt the Montana Accord. And we're not going to have it. We're done. Too many of us have died, and we can't suffer any more humiliation. Michel Sisson, Ellen Lalume. Last week, Mr. Daniel Foote writes, the former Biden envoy, who is 1,000 times improvement to Bill Clinton, Barack Obama's envoy. He says, last week, the US and other embassies in Port-au-Prince issued another public statement to support for the unelected de facto Prime Minister, Dr. Ariel Henry, as interim leader in Haiti. I mean, the man sounds like me. Can you imagine? I'm shocked. Oh my God. People, he sounds like us, the majority of Haitians. Oh my God. There's not been a white savior or any of them with something to lose in playing career, not retired like the economic hitman guy that whistleblows like this for us. I'm telling you, Daniel Foote, I'm in love with you. Thank you very much. I wish the others would break rank and be humans, because those predators, those snakes, career ambassadors, I wish America understood what they stood for, what they stand for. And Madame, there's a Black woman who they have right now, Biden has, to execute their colonization in Haiti. And her name is Linda Thomas Greenfield. Miss Greenfield, I hope you look at Daniel Foote and follow him. I really, really, really do. I wrote you a letter, Miss Greenfield, last week, asking you to let the people who put together the Montana Accord to represent Haiti at the UN General Assembly. Of course, you know, didn't hear from you, but I wrote you that letter. And I'm told that you got it. You know, Black Americans, these integrated Negroes you got are the worst. Worse. I have not seen her work as a US ambassador, so I can't say that Miss Linda Thomas Greenfield is like Michelle Sisson or Pamela White, that whoring bitch, or any of them, all of them who have been presiding over our death for the last 50, 60 years. We curse all of you. Get the hell out of our face. Don't even say that word, IT. Pamela White. How the hell are you going to walk around talking about, I agree with every word that Daniel Foote writes? Where the hell were you when the Clintons were putting in your supposedly lover, Laurent Lamotte? We've seen you on that beach having a nice little wine with Michel Martelly, that misogynist pig. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how hypocritical these white women are. I can't, because you would not, you just have to, oh my Lord, just look at their record, all of them. But Daniel Foote, we thank you. You have actually, you just helped the white race just now. Oh my God. Somebody should give you a prize. Well, after they give us one for surviving the core group's terror, okay? Not before. So he writes, last week, the US and other embassies in Port-au-Prince issued another public statement of support by the unelected de facto Prime Minister, Dr. Ariel Henry, as interim leader of Haiti, and have continued to tout his political agreement over another broader. So he's talking about the Montana Accord, right? He says they are touting, this is the most important message, people. He said they are, because this is our future, right? We work to stop American colonization and neocolonialism. This is our future. I think my next interview is coming up, so I'm going to be finishing. Let me just figure out what she's saying. Hello? Yes? Are you ready? You ready? Okay, I'm going to come on now, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So people, for those of you, oh, you know how to help us, okay? So actually, please help two types of people. I'm going to write their names on the Free Haiti Movement page. I see these young Haitian guys at the border reporting the stories of these Haitians, and they need to be supported, because I watched one of them who you know, in their rush to move the 12,000, they say, some 17 from under the bridge, they had to pay for the buses, the Haitians, you know, to get to whatever center they were going to, and some of them didn't have the money. I watched how this one young Haitian man, I'm so proud of you, gave the $50 for all the ones that were on one bus. So, you know, guys, help those people, help those Haitians. Okay, forget the NGOs, help those Haitians. All right, and help the Haitians that are helping the Haitians for on the earthquake in the South. Okay, I'm trying to see where the StreamYard link is for this next interview I have, people, and I'm going to put it on as soon as I get on. I'm going to put it on. So I'm going to just finish and close out. Okay. Please, people, share my Instagram with all other Haitians. If you have videos that you want us to put on Free Haiti album of the stories of these people, we want to keep them all one together. So send them to me. I'm on WhatsApp for the videos, and you guys can find my number. All, you know, it's on my website at esleydantal.com. And what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so what did I just do? Did I just? Okay, camera. I'm gonna enter the studio. I
A
think.
songwriter fan. As much as I hear her music and like it,
All
it's gonna come back to me.
all right, people. So
It was Robin something.
I'm gonna mute myself right now, real quick. Let me just finish this for you guys. So
Finally, it has happened to me.
okay. So people, he wrote. Let me just finish this real quick.
Yeah, we got a zillion in the place.
Yes, yes. Give me a second, Pete. Give me a second.
Handling some business right now.
How you doing?
She telling somebody where they need to go and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it corrected, and then come on back.
All right,
now.
all right, people. Just hold on for a minute. 1 minute. So he finishes by saying that the
How you know that?
that the core group is pushing Dr. Ariel
I
Henry
said
and his political agreement over the
I said,
Montana
I'm so happy you
Accord.
were able to make it, sis.
Oh, give thanks,
Finally
sister.
got-
Yes.
Finally got you on the thing.
Yes. Give
I have no
thanks,
idea where I am.
true.
Give me a second, people.
How's everyone doing this evening? You beautiful in church. Beautiful. I'm so glad, so happy to be in your presence.
Awesome.
Same here, sis. Same here.
Give me a second. I can't. I'm sorry,
Yeah, so
you guys.
I think
Just finish. I'm gonna finish this
there's
and
another
because
artist too.
I have to get off.
Let me see if I can find her.
And I can't figure out where I was finishing reading it. But anyways, that's
I don't know
basically
if
his
she owns
main
her
message,
masters,
people.
though.
Okay,
And
so
Nina
that's just
definitely has to
amazing.
give her
I
a-
want you all
Right.
to
Most definitely.
look at that Montana Accord so that we can have this national dialogue and have this
So I'm glad
process.
StreamYard connection is good.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I will be printing. Oh, I mean,
Was
I've
that
already
CC
put
finished
that
then?
whole Daniel Foote letter everywhere,
That's
so you
Aretha
can find it.
Franklin.
Thank you very
No,
much.
not right there. I'm
Bye-bye.
saying the one
That's
who-
your girl Aretha from
Yeah.
Detroit.